Hey, boys and girls, it's Wednesday, May 13th. I hope you're having a great week so far. Got a few things to go over real quick, and then we'll continue with a couple more stories or chapters in Shredderman. Learning opportunities, IXL, you guys know what the deal is there. I've got them for math, Mrs. Summerfeld has them for reading. Take a look at those. Message me if you have any questions. Google Hangout tomorrow, 10 o'clock. I hope to see as many of you as possible. I look forward to that every week. So I'll see you guys Thursday at 10. Got a couple surprises in there for you, so better tune in for that. Head up to the high school, get some lunch and breakfast. Message me if you have any questions. Stay home and stay safe. Make sure you guys are taking a look at the Prodigy and IXL reading as well. Take a look at IXL for them. Ms. Summerfeld posted those. Social studies, take a look at the last couple of posts. And then Phi and music art guidance, take a look at all of those as well. Make sure you join Mr. Warner's class and all of those important things. Looks good. Hey, make sure you're taking a look at the IXL things I posted. Lattice multiplication, you guys are pretty straightforward with that. Division, hopefully isn't too bad. Remember, when you start it, you always make that big hangman gallows looking shape to put in your numbers. If you're doing 86 divided by 3. And the closer you can guess, the easier it is. So make sure you're working those strategies. There's a couple of videos there to help you. But if you still need some help, let me know. Reading data and graph, just make sure you're going straight up and down. That's the big thing that some kids will make a mistake on. You got to make sure you're making 90-degree turns when you're looking at data. Equivalence, I talked about that with your numerator over your denominator and figuring out where things are. And then your different types of triangles, whether it is acute, obtuse, or right. Shredderman, meet the gecko. So yesterday we left off with Bubba storming into the set and disrupting the filming. We'll see how that gets reacted to hopefully today. And let's get started. And I noticed, maybe you'll notice I changed the background of the text. You can let me know if that's easier or harder, but figured I'd switch it up. So chapter 10, hot off the press. Wow, my mom whispered. That boy's gotten big. Oh yeah, I choked out, thinking about how Bubba would find out some way to pound me at school the next day. How'd he get in here? Dad said. He's Bubba, Dad. He has ways. Everyone was just starting to settle down when Chase said, "Has anyone seen Sticky?" He was patting himself all over, looking around. After a minute of Sticky not showing up, some woman announced, "We've got a gecko on the loose. Come on, people, let's find it." Everyone looked around. On the floor, all around the furniture. I looked up. Geckos love to climb. They can hang upside down, no problem. Geckos are way, way cool. And seeing how this gecko is sticky, well, he could be anywhere. They should check up at the cash register, I whispered to Dad. Or the safe, I grinned, asking him. You still got your watch? Sticky was a kleptomaniac. Dad laughed and he put his arm around my shoulder. You are just kidding, right? I shrugged and smiled. But part of me really wanted to check the cash register, just in case. Someone probably should have, too, because Sticky didn't show up. Finally, the director called, Get the gecko wrangler. Everyone else, lunch, half hour. We've got miles to go before we sleep." Most people filed into the tan green room. Some people ran upstairs. I was dying to go over and thank the gecko for inviting me to watch, but I didn't have to. He came over to me. "Hey, Nolan," he said. "Glad you could make it." "Thanks for inviting me," I told him. He turned to Mom and Dad. "Cool kid you got here." Mom was smiling big. She even put her hand out and said, "I'm Eve Bird, Nolan's mother." He nodded. "And I'm Chase Morton." He wiggled his eyebrows my way. "The gecko." Just then Henna Blockwell came over with a paper in her hand and a grin on her face. A grin that didn't seem to really go with her face. It was goofy. Chase, she said, then looked around at the rest of us. Sorry for interrupting, but she handed Chase the paper. This came via fax. Maggie sent it from L.A. You're not going to believe it. I saw the paper as Henna passed it to Chase. So did Dad. And Mom. Our eyes got big. We tried to make them stay small. Tried to act cool. But our mouths and shoulders and heads were twitching all around. Even as a murky fax copy, there was no mistaking my slug mole. The gecko read the article. He was grinning so big I thought his ears would push right off the back of his head. Finally looked at Henna and said, Who wrote this? Well, it's Dave Egbert's column, but obviously his source is a mystery man. Yeah, Chase said. Shredderman. Henna was still smiling. It's hilarious, and even funnier when you realize that Egbert's column is syndicated. This piece will be in papers all around the country. Chase laughed and kind of danced in place. This is so cool. This is brilliant. Slick as a semiconductor, my dad asked. What's this all about? Chase handed over the paper, saying, Remember the mole, the guy I warned you about yesterday? Dad nodded. Mr. Bull? Chase snickered. Yeah, well, some guy named Shredderman is giving him a dose of his own medicine. Dad was skimming the article, nodding. I've heard of this Shredderman character. Really? Dad passed the paper to me, saying, He's something of a local hero. Chase seemed very interested. Any idea who it is? Triple O. I hadn't thought about it until now, but who else knew the mole was in town? Who else would try to expose him? Bullets started shooting from my sweat glands. Dad stayed cool, though. He shrugged and said, I'm actually investigating that for the Gazette. Well, when you find out, would you let me know? I have no idea how many people would want to thank him. My heart was pounding double speed as it read the article. It was everything I'd sent in email, plus the writer's own stories about the mole. Henna eased the paper out of my hands and said, I'm going to make copies and pass them around. This is just too good. Chase said, Great idea, then grinned at me and said, We've probably got some time for a quick game of Tekken 3. You up for it? Henna grabbed him away by the arm. No way. Absolutely no way. She dragged him along, saying, As a matter of fact, they need you in wardrobe. No more disappearing acts. Chase pointed to his magic wristband as he grinned at me and wiggled his eyebrows. See you later, Nolan. I laughed and waved, and when he was gone, I followed Mom and Dad to the side so we'd be out of the way. And while they were debating how long we could stay without wearing out our welcome, a man with a bushy brown goatee went by, pushing a cart of food. He was wearing a white waiter coat, a black bow tie, a chef hat, glasses. He looked like a waiter doing his job. But behind the glasses, his eyes were shifty, beady, darting back and forth. I blinked. He looked sort of familiar. Then his nose twitched, and I knew why. It was the mole. Chapter 11. The Mole Returns. I tugged on Dad's arm and whispered, Look! Huh? Said Dad. I twitched my nose and pointed again. What is... Shh! I held up a finger, telling him to wait. Then I started trailing the mole. My mom said, What is Nolan doing? But my dad held on to her and kept her quiet. Inside, my dad's got the heart of a superhero. I followed the mole into the green room. There were a bunch of people inside. The tables had tons of stuff on them. Big steel dishes with lids, stacks of plates, pyramids of cheese. Before anyone noticed me, I ducked under the closest table and hid behind the long white tablecloth. I could see the wheels of the mole cart moving across the room. I crawled along watching that. I didn't bang into the table's cross braces with my backpack. It wasn't easy. At the end of the first table, I peeked out the back side. Nobody there. I crawled out around the table legs until I was hidden under the second table. My heart was banging. My legs felt shaky. What was the mole up to? The wheels of his cart twisted and turned. I could see the mole's feet moving back and forth around the cart. I pulled up the corner of the tablecloth so I could see better, but I was afraid to pull it too high. All I could really see were legs. Then I remembered my periscope. I slipped off my backpack. I unzipped it, quiet as could be. I pulled out the newest spy tool and pushed it up through the space between the tables. Careful, careful, inch by inch. I saw the back of a steel dish, plates, black vase, pine needles, and then people. Oh yeah. I turned the periscope around slowly. Sudden movements are easily detected by the human eye. And then there he was, in my sights, the mole. He was looking shifty, all right, putting food from a rolling tray onto a table. He was doing it slow, looking around, looking up. Up? Had he spotted Sticky? I turned the periscope, but didn't see Sticky anywhere. The mole was up to something. I knew that. Here's Nolan hiding under the table with his periscope, looking out. But what? And when he made his move, what was he going to do? How was I going to catch him in the act? I pulled the periscope down and took out my digital camera out of its spy compartment. I held the camera lens close to the eyepiece of the periscope. Could you take a picture this way? I decided to try it. I turned the periscope camera sideways and slipped the eye of the periscope under the tablecloth. I looked through the camera viewfinder. I spotted someone's shoes, then clicked a picture. I put the periscope down and looked at the shot. It worked. I had a picture of feet. Sharp and focused feet. Then someone called, "Let's hit it." And pretty soon everyone cleared the room. Everyone except for me. And the mole. I put the periscope up and the camera together, and at the last minute I switched into movie mode. Then up went the periscope until I found the mole. He was moving around fast. I was having trouble tracking him. He grabbed a chair. He yanked it across the room. He whipped out his camera from under the metal serving dome and rolling tray and slung it around his neck. He went back to the chair and stood on it. What was I waiting for? Time to start recording. I caught him looking around, pulling something out of his waiter coat. A lighter. He flicked the lighter wheel and started the flame. He held it up to the ceiling, up to an automatic sprinkler. Oh no, he was trying to make it come on. The sprinklers would ruin everything. They would soak the green room, the lobby, the cameras, the actors, everything. I almost shouted, "Stop, villain!" But I didn't. It would be more important to get proof. The ceiling sprinklers sputtered. They burst on. Water sprayed everywhere. There's the mole, lighter, and we've got our periscope over here. So the whole room is going to get soaked from the sprinklers. I could hear people in the lobby shouting, squealing, screaming. The mole jumped out of the chair and charged into the lobby. Renga, renga, renga. I could hear the mole's camera shoot and whine through the spray. Fire, somebody shouted. There must be a fire. Renga, renga, renga. Cover the cameras. Renga, renga, renga. Shut off the sprinklers. Renga, renga, renga. The place was going crazy. My dad charged into the green room. Nolan, he called. Here, Dad. He dived under the table with me. What are you doing? I was collapsing the periscope, stuffing everything back in my backpack. The mole. He started the sprinklers with a lighter. He's out there getting pictures. You've got to stop him. But stop him. Get his camera. But by the time Dad scrambled out of the room, it was too late. The mole had already disappeared. And the next chapter, chapter 12, Back to the Motherboard. We'll find out more about that. thought I'd remind you, guys did an hour code earlier this year doing the Microsoft Minecraft one. You could look into doing more of that um, during our lockdown. Um, Fun picture that I threw up. I think I've used this one before, but I think it's a fun one. And some of you guys were wondering about the Cumberland beaver. That is very similar to the University of Oregon State's beaver, but that's because they have permission, so I threw that one in there too. So I hope you guys are enjoying Shredderman and the story. So I am enjoying it. I think it's really interesting. I'll keep reading a couple more chapters tomorrow. I'll see you guys for a Google Hangout tomorrow as well. Have a great day. Look forward to seeing you 10 o'clock tomorrow for our Hangout. Bye.